I often hear a lot of companies say, I get a lot of leads, but I just can't get them on the phone. And to that, I am going to ask, how quickly are you able to get back to leads when they first reach out to you? Regardless of whether you're getting a bunch of leads or just a few, and you're still having the same issue of, I can't get them on the phone, I can't get them to reply to my emails. The big question that I have is, how long does it take you to reply? That is critical. And really, this comes down to a fundamental point of business. To grow your business at a very, very basic level, you need to get more customers. And chances are you're already spending a bunch of money on ads and marketing to find new leads. But if you can't figure out this process of how do I turn them into sales, you're going to really struggle, or at the very least, you are going to leave a bunch of money on the table. So if when you are spending all of this money on ads, you are commonly you're commonly struggling to get people on the phone. You're getting a lot of people saying, sorry, I've already found somebody to work with, or sorry, I've already found somebody else, or you're just getting a bunch of people ghosting you. It sounds like you have a problem with your response time. And this is huge, because this is a very simple problem to resolve, but it's a problem that a ton of companies have, because they get so busy with work, with things that they have to do throughout the day, invoicing, scheduling, estimating, all of this different stuff. And when a new lead comes in, they either miss the message entirely, which is very common, or they say, I'll get back to that lead in a bit. And it may take them a few hours to get back to that lead. It may take them till the end of the day, and then they say, I'll get back to them tomorrow. And by that point, and this is the argument that I'm going to make, by that point, you've already lost the lead. And that's why you are hearing a lot of these leads tell you, sorry, I've already found somebody else. And this is a painful thing to deal with. So I want to look at your response times here, because this is critical. It's a very basic thing to resolve in your business. You aren't spending any more money to do it. You may be changing a few things about how you run your business, but I argue that it is absolutely worth it. And I'll kind of paint the financial picture of this here in just a second. But let me just say, we often forget that when a lead reaches out to us, we are not the only one that they are reaching out to. They are probably reaching out to 2, 3, 4 other companies as well, trying to either price shop or just weigh the options. This is something that I do as well. When I am going to find a few companies or a company to resolve something that I need help with, I'm not just reaching out to one, mainly because I don't want to waste my time just reaching out to one and then finding out that they're not the right option for me. I'm going to reach out to several options to see what the best options are out there. Usually mine doesn't come down to price, it's just coming down to, I'm not sure which company is going to be able to do what I am looking for, so I'm gonna reach out to several and kind of knock out a few birds with one stone. But what I ultimately find during that process is at least 1 or 2 of them take forever to get back to me. In those 2, whether they take 6 hours to get back to me, whether they take 2 days to get back to me, I've pretty much already written them off the list at this point. So this is why in the very beginning I asked you to ask yourself, how long is it taking me to get back to leads? Because if it's taking you over, say, 4 hours, and frankly, 4 hours is a very long time. If it's taking you over 4 hours to get back to these leads, you are losing a huge amount of money based on your response time. If you can get back to leads within 10 minutes, of them reaching out to you, you are 391% more likely to close that sale. Let me write that down for a second. Right, that is huge. So again, this is a very basic change. Now, you may be thinking, 10 minutes, holy cow. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get back to leads within 10 minutes. I'm going to argue that you should absolutely try. Now, the really nice thing is there's something called automation. You can do this to an extent. However, in many cases, what this ultimately comes down to, your ability to increase your conversion rate ultimately comes down to your ability to then hold a conversation with them. If you just reach out to them within 10 minutes, and then you leave them hanging for 4 hours because your automation did the first interaction, but then you couldn't get back to them till 4 hours later, you're still not really achieving the main goal that you're trying to achieve here, which is you want to get them so far down the line of having a conversation with you and starting the process of potentially working with you that by the time your competitors reach out to them, they don't want to restart the process talking to another competitor. As long as you kind of meet the needs of what they're looking for, they're not going to go talk to another competitor only to discover that, this company that I was talking with here was perfectly fine. People are looking for the fastest path towards their solution, which is why, if you can get back to people within 10 minutes, 30 minutes, you are at a huge advantage, because I guarantee you, all of your other competitors, there is no chance they are getting back to them that fast. So you are increasing your ability to close sales tremendously. In this case, 391% jump in conversion rates. That is huge. So let's paint a little bit of an example here. And this is all going to be hypothetical numbers. I encourage you, if you know your numbers, plug them in here, because that's going to get that's going to get the math to be exactly for your business. So in this case, let's paint a little example. So let's just say, to keep math simple, let's say you're losing 10 leads per year because you missed their message or you took too long to get back to them. And I'm going to argue you're missing a lot more than that. But again, to keep the math simple, you're missing 10 leads per year. Okay, now let's say, if you had gotten all 10 of these and converted them, let's say, let's keep things very simple. Let's just say your typical customer lifetime value, or your typical customer annual value, let's say, is $2,000. So they spend $2,000 with you every year if they became a customer. So let's just say $2,000 a year they spend with you. Okay, so now we have the numbers that we kind of need here. So let's multiply this. And this is going to show you how much money you are losing every year. Now again, before we calculate this number, I'm going to argue that you are losing a lot more than this, because there are two variables here. First, I'm going to argue that you're missing a lot more than 10 leads a year. And then on the flip side, your customer annual value could be more than 2,000. It could be less than 2,000. For landscaping construction projects, it's probably more than 2,000. So it just depends on who you are, the type of company you are, and how much the customer is spending, which is why I encourage you to plug your own numbers here and figure this out. But let's just stick with my example here. So if you lost 10 leads per year, and on average they spend about $2,000 a year with you, that is $20,000 you lose every single year in leads that you could have converted, but you just took too long to get back to them. You spent all of this money on marketing and ads to get these leads, and you could have had $20,000 in addition to in that year, but you missed them because it just took you a little too long to get back to them. How does that sound? Right? I mean, this is, as long as you can organize some things in your office and you can get back to them and you have a process to get back to leads quickly, you could easily capitalize on this amount of money, because all it comes down to is just making sure that you get in touch with these leads and you get them started in the process before your competitors. So let me just write down this number here. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. So this is why I argue, when you're spending this money on marketing and ads, I think it is incredibly valuable, and this is where we go back to the title of this video. The easiest way for you to close more sales, it isn't to go hire some sales guy and to teach all of your people in the office how to sell. It's just to simply, when somebody reaches out to you, just get back to them within 30 minutes, and your conversion rate will jump tremendously. You don't have to go spend more on ads. You don't have to go hire somebody to train your team. It's just a matter of getting back to leads quickly, because you're beating all of your competition, and you can get them in a position where when your competition does finally get in touch with them, instead of your leads telling you, sorry, I've already found somebody else, you get your leads telling your competitors, sorry, I've already found somebody else. And I'm sure that would feel pretty nice. So that is what I'm trying to illustrate here. The easiest way for you to make more money and close more deals is to decrease your response time so you can get back to them before everybody else. So that is what I wanted to communicate in this video. If you have any questions, if you want me to elaborate on anything more, please let me know. I would be happy to do so. But also for Acquire and Convert, if you have any content ideas for me, please let me know. I am looking for content ideas, and if they get enough suggestions or upvotes, I will create a piece of content for that. And right now I'm specifically looking for marketing, sales, conversions, that sort of topic. And if enough suggestions come in around that topic, we'll create a video and I'll release it, and I'll be sure to tag you in that video, letting you know I got that video created for you. So if you have any questions, let me know, but I hope you found some value in this and talking about, what's the fastest way to close new deals.